Hi, I'm Mike Sostak, and welcome to Pleasant Rise Farm in Guilford, Vermont. It's New Year's Day 2018, down to minus numbers last night, and it's hovering around zero right now, but it's nonetheless a beautiful day. My purpose today is to tell you about my experiences primarily using the Genie Cafe roaster, which I'll explain my setup in a minute here. I've been roasting for about 2 years. I've done about 100 roasts, so I'm clearly just a beginner, an amateur. I got into this because of my good friend Tom, who has been roasting for many years, and I always enjoyed the quality of the coffee that he made from the beans he roasted. Um, I'm 72 years old. I got into roasting, again, primarily because of my friend Tom. And right now we're in a workshop, my workshop, and we're in the area my wife used to use. My wife died, but she used to use this for wood carving, this section of the workshop. And you'll see part of the setup is I'm using some of the things that she used in her wood carving. But one of the reasons that I really like roasting is because when Patty was alive, we used to make maple syrup. We had a small sugaring operation here. And I found that whole process to be really kind of spiritual and soothing and peaceful. And I find roasting coffee to be the same. At least that's how the experience is for me. Um, this is my first video, as you probably can already tell. And so pardon any flaws I might have along the way here. I'm using an iPhone 8 Plus to do the recording, and again, I will try to leave information on the YouTube video at the end and at the bottom of the video if I can figure out how to do that. So to run over what I'm doing today, a Genie Cafe roaster. I've already loaded the roaster with beans. I put in the roasting chamber, and I measured out 8 ounces. And I measure out 8 ounces versus using the cup that Genie gives you, and that I like to be more precise in knowing how many ounces I actually have. It is right here is a colander I use for cooling, and this is the vent that Patty used as her dust collector, and it's connected to a dust collector in the closet over here. And that is how I cool down the beans rather than using the machine to do the cooling, and I find that's really helpful. Again, the machine is ducted outside the window here, and you'll see right here is something called an Anker portable amplifier. And this is a little device I found on Amazon that's really been helpful to me in hearing first crack um, and second crack. And what I do is I have the microphone. It's about 50 bucks on Amazon. I have the microphone set up right outside the exhaust, right near the exhaust vent opening. And I found through experimentation that's really the best place to put the mic. And I can really hear quite clearly first crack and usually second crack, depending on the bean. I use a timer, kitchen timer. I rather count up rather than down in time the way the Genie counts down. So I prefer the kitchen timer to keep track of time. I do keep a log of everything I do, just notes. I use a small shop vac that I have here. I use a scale to weigh the beans. And I buy my beans from Sweet Maria's in California. They get their green beans from small family-run farms throughout the world, and I like the idea of supporting the small farmer. So I found again this machine to be a great machine. I really enjoy using it. I think I mentioned that I did have a B Morse 1600 plus in the beginning, and although that's a great machine, I think I prefer this one just because I can see the beans better and see what's happening. So, without further ado, I'm going to get the roasting started. Turn on the machine. I set it to the maximum heat setting of 482. I just set the timer, even though I'm not going to go that long, at 20 minutes. And then I just start my roast. So I am going to come back to this video. I'm not going to have you sit here for the next 14 minutes or so while these beans are roasting, but I will come back when we're closer to being done, and hopefully you'll be able to hear first crack and see what else I do. Okay, we're about 13 minutes into the roast now, and I haven't put on my amplifier yet, but I'm going to in a few minutes. And the reason I'm not turning it on right now is it's going to kind of, on this video, it's got, because the microphone's near the amplifier, it's going to make a lot of noise, but I'm going to turn it on soon, as soon as I think we're close to first crack. I'm going to turn it on now. So again, there you go. I'd say we're hearing, there goes first crack right now. Hopefully you're able to hear the first crack sound now. I'm going to put on my heat protective gloves because once we get close to second crack, just about there, I am going to put on again the dust collector, and I'm going to stop the machine and dump the beans into the colander to cool them down here. And that chamber, that roasting chamber, is pretty hot, and that's why I put the gloves on. So I try to roast, I try to get to about full city plus is what I shoot for in my roasting. That's what I find I like the best, and friends and family who I give roasted beans to seem to like that the best. So that's what I do. It's a great aroma right now coming from the beans. I usually wait between first crack and I usually go about 3 minutes depending on the bean. And that's where I am right now, and I'm going to stop the beans right now. I'm putting on the dust collector. Take the beans out, dump them in to the dust collector, and mix them around. And they're cooling down really quickly. Really nice how this dust collector works. I'm fortunate to have this. So I keep mixing them around until they seem cool to the touch. And for me, this looks like I'm about full city plus, I think, anyway. Again, not an expert by any means. And there we go. So hopefully you can see the beans. I hope. Came out pretty nice, I think. And I will try to leave you information at the end of this video. Thanks for watching.